Could you spot a counterfeit religion if you saw it? Would you know what to look for? Or would it sort of creep up on you and catch you by surprise? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Christina, and on my channel I do book reviews, homemaking videos, cooking videos, but my favorite by far are the book reviews. And for this video, the book is Counterfeit Spirituality, Exposing the False Gods by Brian Mercier. And I actually got this book because I had gotten into a discussion on one of the Facebook groups I'm in about certain practices that are opposed to Catholicism. And it was with a Catholic person I was discussing this, and as I was talking to them, I found that they had a bit of an attachment to one of the activities in this book, and so it made it worthwhile to me to purchase the book and look through it and read it and actually, know something about these counterfeit spiritualities, these false religions that lure people in. Now, to start the book, he talks about how to spot fakes. And the way he goes about it is really interesting. For instance, when they're training people like in the FBI and that sort of thing, to be able to spot a counterfeit, they do it by having them study intensely the real deal. So they will spend lots and lots of time studying either, a 50 or 100 or a 10 or whatever it may be. They'll have them study it intensely so that person knows exactly what it looks like. They could, have 10 different $10 bills sitting in front of them, and they would be able to pick out the real one versus the fake. And it's by knowing the legit one, the authentic one, inside and out, that they're able to spot the fake ones. That if the fake one comes across them, they can go, nope, that's not the real deal, because it has these characteristics that aren't part of the real deal. Now, the chapters in this book go, the preface is Spotting the Fakes, which I just talked about, What is Truth, the New Age Problem, the Law of Attraction, Astrology and the Occult, Yoga, the Truth about Reiki, Centering Prayer, A Maze of Confusion, the Enneagrams and Labyrinths, Eastern Beliefs and Practices, and Final Thoughts. And if you'll notice, when I talked about A Maze of Confusion, the Enneagram and Labyrinths, I did cover that in the book by Paul Nelson as well. So this book sort of expands on some of the things that he talked about in his book, which was nice because it's like that gave a sort of starting point. And so it gave me that moment of, oh, I recognize this stuff. I've read about it before. Now, he addresses a lot the New Age problem and how there are various New Age activities that will suck Christians in. Christians in general, not just Catholics. In fact, I have a friend of mine who I've known for years, who she used to claim herself as a Christian. And then recently I started noticing on Facebook that she would post things like when she'd go to conventions with palm reading and tarot cards and Buddha. And I'd warned her that, I was like, wait a minute, I thought you were a Christian. And she replied back that, well, considering it's a religion that's only been around for 2,000 years, I'm thinking to myself, oh, come on, Christianity has its roots in Judaism. It's been around a lot longer than just 2,000 years. But in the end, Buddha's not going to save you. Tarot cards aren't going to really tell you anything because, it's basically just talking to demons. And Jesus, however, saves. And only God knows the future, so none of the New Age stuff is really going to do anything for you. And he talks about different New Age principles like monism, where everything is one, and pantheism, everything is divine. And then he goes into the law of attraction. And that was an interesting one to read about too. And one of the things I actually found really interesting about some of these is the fact that there are so many that have Catholic priests involved in them at some point. And it kind of goes along with the whole how many heresies have come from Catholic priests, like Arianism and, Protestantism from Luther. And so it's not uncommon to have heresies and New Age practices and things that are outside of Catholicism come from a priest. And then people think, oh, well, it came from a priest, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. That's just what a priest brought in. And so he goes on to talk more about the enneagrams, which there are personality tests that you can do that are more faith-based. The enneagram isn't one of them. Don't mess with it. It's new age, and it's not going to be helpful to you. He talks about Reiki in the occult. He talks about acupuncture too, which I thought was funny that when he talks about acupuncture, I mean, he really lays out what it is, why it's spiritually dangerous, and how you can't separate the practice from the spirituality. And it was just really interesting to read about that. And I found it funny because I posted actually pictures of some of the parts that I was reading on Facebook. And I have a friend who got really sensitive about it because apparently her son had acupuncture done. And so she was trying to say that you could separate the spirituality from the practice itself, which he makes clear in the book that's not possible, because the whole basis of it has to do with these energy lines in this map. They're connected. They're inseparable. It's kind of like with yoga. You can't separate yoga from Hinduism. It's not just stretches. The stretches all have particular names, and they're modeled to shape your body, to contort it into the shape of the demon, basically inviting the demon into your body. Whether you plan to do it or not, that's what you're doing. And he's a little bit lighter on the yoga topic, so I'm going to actually link below a video with Father Ripperger where he talks about yoga, because he does a much more thorough job on that. It's not bad in the book. He just covers other topics a lot more in depth and a lot better. He talks about transcendental meditation and yin and yang, feng shui, karma, and reincarnation. He covers a lot of material. So if this is something that you're interested in learning about and finding out about these counterfeit spiritualities and how to protect yourself or family members from them, I really do highly recommend this book. He is very thorough, gives a lot of information, has a lot of footnotes in there. And I think it was well worth the read. Like I said, I posted about it a lot on Facebook because there was just a lot of good information in there. He also talks about Christian psychics and says, there can be no Christian psychics or mediums as these practices are condemned in the Bible. Certain psychics, such as famous medium John Edward, purport to be Christian, but their activities are not compatible with Christianity. Matthew Arnold says, if some so-called gift directly opposes Scripture and the Catechism, do you really think that all such gifts are from God? Counterfeit spiritual powers are not gifts. They always carry a price and possibly even the loss of heaven. So, I mean, he covers some serious business in this book. So, like I said, Brian Mercier, Counterfeit Spirituality, highly recommended. Go check it out because, I mean, either you'll learn something that you didn't know about before, or maybe it'll teach you something about, something that a loved one or a family member is dabbling in that they should be warned about and, if nothing else, prayed for. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you did, please be sure to check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.